Whoa, that was exciting. Hip, hip, hooray. So now we're wondering of ourselves, well, sweet Jesus, where do we pick up? For the person who's just chiming in now, this is part 2 of an amazing conversation that says, why live events? Part 1, where we walk through, well, why does it matter? Why do I need to be on stage? The stage is the place that allows you and I to own the potential that is inside the audience. The stage is the place that allows you to say, oh, no, sir, ma'am, listen, I'm the expert. Nothing is more important this year than you positioning yourself as the expert. The expert's not just a place, it is the place. So I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to I'm going to get a quick song together for you. And I want you to just hang tight. When we're going to wait, we're going to spend a few minutes. We're going to wait for our audience to come back. So that way we know that we don't leave anybody behind. Okay, I'm going to jam with you for just a moment.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your feet loud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. A slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you so you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 Cause I just wanna hear it out your mouth.
Will there be one here?
Give me fuel, it's a tool that I use to go ahead and run my mouth, yeah. I take shots, I take loss, I make shots, I miss lots. That's how you get big box, you get yachts, you swing lots and pop off a big shot. I ain't done chasing, got big dreams, bigger things, impatient. Who's at the top think they need replacement? Who's at the top think I'm gonna erase them? Face it, I don't give up quick, I don't give up, I won't give up this. Cause I know that I want it, know that I'm on it, I'll make it out.
Okay, so do me a favor. Delete the old link you had. You can hear me? Yay! You see me jamming? Me? In this dress? Do me a favor and like this video, take this link, share, we'll start again. You're just watching this on replay, don't fast forward. Jam with me. Okay, now, really quickly, do me a favor, like this video, go ahead to the comments and say, good morning, Tiffany, good morning, Matt, good morning, Jerika, what's going on, Anna? Say good morning to you. Okay, I'm gonna give this a few minutes as this is part 2.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad, chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back, I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me, ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact, give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause some pain, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. erase the pain. It's like candy canes, it makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap.
Fear, hates. Can you do me a favor and can I get you to write something in the chat? So I make sure the pieces are working. Good morning. What was the part of what I was saying that you were like, oh, I'm right there? Hey.
Stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad. Baby, I'm bad.
Okay. So it sounds like we're back. It sounds like we're back. It sounds like we're back. Fear hates movement. Hello, good morning. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hello. You are here on day 4 as we talk about stage and story. Somehow, way, shape, form, figure, we're gonna have to piece this together, put this together. We are waiting for our family and friends to be present with us. We are waiting for our family and friends to be present with us. We are waiting for our family and friends to be present with us. They will get here soon. Oh, you waiting for the coffee talk? I know that was some drama, right? We are waiting for our friends and family. 100%. Tech is amazing. Tech is amazing. Fear does hate movement. All right, we're going to get through this together. And here we go. So, let me just say welcome, welcome, welcome to day 4. Let me remind you of something stupidly important, that fear hates movement. And when you think about the possibility of what's next for you, I want you to consider the number 1 asset that you have right now, which is your story. And more importantly, taking your story to the stage is everything. I cannot tell you how many times I was disregarded, overlooked, and then more importantly, passed up simply because of the fact that the person looked at me and they said, Tiffany, I don't really think you have that much value. And I was like, well, forget you. I do have value. And in order for me to prove the value that I had, and in order for me to position myself well into the market, I needed to take my story and take it to the stage. Really quickly, I'm going to ask you in the chat to say, take it to the stage with your name attached. Take all you have to the stage. 7 years ago, I took myself to the stage. Now, there's 2 ways to consider this and think about this. It's like, well, where do I go and speak? What stages are you talking about, Tiffany? And I'm really talking about all of them. Yes, I had built these businesses. Yes, I had this story, but really, in all fairness, I really wasn't sure who was curious in my story. I also was tired of being overlooked and passed up and being made to feel like I wasn't prime. I was also really frustrated because I was like, man, you guys won't listen to this? This is not even going to help you. I saw a good old boys network that really wouldn't let me in, and it really frustrated me. And I felt like I constantly had to prove myself that I was valuable. And I want to be clear, I wasn't really even interested in speaking because my ego gets served. Truth be told, I am still an introvert, regardless of what everybody thinks. But I knew that there were people who were waiting for me. I knew that there were people who they needed to see that it was possible. And yeah, I could totally create like a million videos, and I could do all of this on social media, but I was like, well, damn, I can't really hug people through a computer. So because I can't hug people through a computer, this thing's not going to work. I need to go meet the people. So I started taking to the stage, and what happened is that I faced so many different moments of either because because every time I walked into the room, it was the unknown. And then every time I walked into the room, I was often the odd man out. A moment ago, I was beginning to tell you this story about being in Skokie, Illinois. And what's true and real is that I was grateful to have had the opportunity to have been asked to go and speak. Now, at this point in my journey, I'm speaking all over the country. I'm speaking in certain types of rooms, and I get this opportunity to go speak in Skokie, Illinois for an organization and become their keynote speaker. And all of these people have gathered in. It's maybe 7:38 in the morning, and I was beginning to tell you this journey of, here it is first thing in the morning. They walk in, I walk in, and they don't know who I am. I see them with pamphlets, I see my name, but nobody knows that Tiffany Largie is a black woman and this entire audience is white. Now, this was a pivotal moment, pivotish. This was a pivoty type moment inside of my, let me see which word of these fit. Hold on a second, I need a second. Pivotish. It's one of these words, people. Just you fill in your own blank, damn it. Okay, so I was in this pivotish moment, and there I was saying to myself, well, I am going to just sneak into the room. They had a whole bar in the back where there was coffee and there was, like snacks, not snacks, but like muffins and croissants and things like that. And there I was. I was pouring and making my stuff. And this guy comes over to me and he says something like, he's on this side. Now, there's a counter here, the big stage is over there, and the chairs are to the back, and the talking amongst this group of people, and I forget the actual core name of it, but they're all back here unless they're making their food. And he comes to me and he's like, man, I'm so glad you're here to represent your people. It is so good that you guys are here to represent. I've been trying to represent you guys, but trying to represent you guys for a long time. And then the first thing I was like, you guys, who's you guys? So I make a decision not to pay him no mind because clearly he has no idea that I'm the keynote speaker. I keep going. I kind of do this and I come back to it. Now, this next guy comes up to me maybe about 30 seconds later, independent. This guy leaves. And he says, man, I've been trying to help you people for a long time. You people just don't want to know the kind of help, but I'm glad that you're here because maybe you can be the one to take it back to your people. Now I was like, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are my people? Oh, all the black people. Got it. I came in here. Got it. Check. And you're proud of me because now I can then take it back to all of my people to go and help them. Poor us, right? This moment is such a tough moment because one more guy comes in and he begins to say, now notice these are all three white men who come up to me. There was a moment of me feeling intimidated. There was also a moment of me not feeling intimidated. First of all, I was going to punch somebody. Let's just be honest. But I was like, Tiffany, you cannot punch anybody. This would be awkward. You're the keynote speaker. You cannot punch someone, go to jail, and you're the one who's the keynote speaker. You get anybody feel how that would be like Tiffany? Hashtag no jail for Tiffany really quickly in the chat. Hashtag no jail for Tiffany really quickly in the chat because I need to know that you're with me because the truth of the matter is that by the third time this one came, I've legit, no BS, between you and me, baby cakes, I was straight like, yo, I'm about to go to jail on these streets. But that's because the hood of me was about to come out. But then I took a deep breath because I realized that they were not used to having a woman like me, a black speaker on stage. They were also not used to me. This was a well-to-do community of small business owners in this area of Skokie, Illinois. The truth of the matter is that I realized that I was in a moment of deep breath because I was a keynote speaker, but I also realized that there was a little bit of frustration and not fear, but uncertainty, and I was feeling a little bit insecure. I took a deep breath and I had to remind myself, like, why was I there? And I realized that I was there on, not even that I was there on purpose, but I had a responsibility to the mission and to myself. The woman calls for all the people to sit down. I go ahead and take a seat as well. She gets on stage, and this is, let's call her the director, right? She gets on stage, she does a tiny bit of housekeeping, then she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We have this big time speaker all the way from Los Angeles. It took a long time for us to get her here, but we're so excited because she's gonna This woman is excited. She is by herself excited that I'm there. I look at the faces and everybody who's around me, and I'm literally saying to myself, here we go. Now, what I could not anticipate, the road of a speaker, now stay with me because this is so important. The truth of the matter is that I am looking at this audience to my left and my right. She goes, okay, please welcome Tiffany Largie to the stage. And then everybody's looking around for Tiffany Largie. And lo and behold, I stand up amongst the crowd and I walk to the stage. I could feel the level of WTF that has just fallen across this audience. And I see the level of, are you kidding me? We're here to see her? That? You brought us out here. We paid money to come and see her. She's the big speaker. And as I'm taking the stage, I watch an entire audience who is now picking up their bags, putting up things. And these people, there are so many of them who are getting ready to leave. I was beyond myself. As I took the stage, I said, good morning, everybody. It looks like you're trying to pack up, but let me just say something. If you have not gotten to 7 figures yet, then I have something to teach you because I am here and you are here. Sit down. The reason why I share this moment with you and I share this pivotal moment is because I know that there are people who make it sound like going and speaking and taking the stage is a walk in the park. It is not. It is a decision. At that moment, I needed to own my own value for myself and for every other person who looked like me, for every other person who was the underdog, for every other woman who has been belittled, for every child that will come after me that lives in a home that is made to feel half of the time that they are not enough, for every single mom, for every single parent, for every LGBTQ person who was still hiding in the closet. I knew that I had a responsibility to own my own value and demand the respect. Really quickly in the chat, I need you to hear these words. Demand the respect with your name at the end. So I took the stage and said, demand your respect, Tiffany Largie, period. Me owning my respect had to come first, and then I could ask the audience to respect me second. Me owning my own self and my own value and then holding it in its highest regard and then demanding, not asking. I will not ask. My story dictates that I built a 7-figure business with no one's help. No friends, no credit cards, no rich uncle, no right place at right time, no JV partners, with 2 small children, and all of the odds against me because I'm still black. And I am still a black woman. I am at the bottom of the US barrel, period. Which means that I needed to own the value of what I had accomplished. I needed to hold the value, and then I needed to demand the respect, and then I needed to give them a choice to respond. Just because I demand the respect doesn't mean that everybody's going to respond and go, yeah, I'm gonna respect you, Tiffany, yay. Some people are like, well, F you. Okay, great, bye. And there are some people who felt their own level of conviction because what I said was the truth. I needed to own my own value. You need to know me, as Anna says. You need to know who I am, period. If you are in this audience and you have not built a 7-figure business, and I have something to teach you, sit down. What are you doing? At this moment, I understood the power of the stage, and I also understood the power in my story. Because the truth of the matter is that my story dictated that not only did I have something to teach them, but more importantly, it also dictated that I was no longer needing to be overlooked or passed up. It also dictated that I had the experience and the qualifications, independent of the fact that I don't have a college degree and I don't have a license and I don't have any certifications. It dictated that I had the experience. It also dictated that I had the knowledge that they needed, and I needed to own the fact that I was the solution to their problem. It is me holding my own value and then me making a decision to convey that value, leveraging the stage that really truly puts us in the driver's seat at understanding that, yo, I'm the solution in these streets. I'm the solution. Taking the stage is not just about speaking and being fancy. Nothing makes me more frustrated than watching people who take the stage and it is a show about them. I wish that we still had those hooks where I could just go behind the scenes and just pull them off stage. It's just, over it. Because for me, taking the stage is a responsibility. You have the power to really help people, get to them, connect with them, get them to take action, get them to feel more. Use the stage for what it's meant to be, as a place of deliverance. So before I could breathe, I'm watching, this room is huge. Half of the room is like, what did she just say? There are a few people who are very uncomfortable. The woman who has now asked me, I know she's like, oh my gosh. I can feel her level of, almost like she's saying to herself, what have I done? I brought the speaker from over here. I didn't know Tiffany Largie was rolling like that. I can feel her level of, but it didn't change the fact. Now stay with me, because taking the stage and being center stage on a physical stage is no different than what you do in your own life at home. You're either taking the stage or you're not. I didn't care how she felt. It's irrelevant. I was being disrespected, and this is not going to happen. I'm not going to tolerate it. I will not accept it, because my story dictates that I am the solution to their problem. And no matter who's around, 220 or 35 of y'all, I'm going to own my own value, period. That is the power of the stage. That's my responsibility as a speaker. That's my responsibility as a leader. And it's truly my responsibility as the CEO of this movement. For every person who is being belittled every single day, if I had done anything different or less in that moment, then I would have shortened everybody else's possibility and potential and what they can accomplish, because I backed down. I wouldn't own my own value. So in this moment, she's having her own meltdown. The audience doesn't know what to do. I watch bags begin to drop and I begin speaking. Now, here's why I'm sharing this with you, because I honestly gave a totally different keynote that day than I came prepared to give. It was my very first time really developing a keynote called How I Built a 7-Figure Business Without an Online Funnel. So keynote speakers, what they do is, or speakers, or taking the stage, you have a signature talk. In 8 years, I've only had 2 or 2.5 signature talks. That's it. I don't speak about 20 different things. I don't speak about 35 different. Could I have it? Sure, I could have 35 different talks. But truth be told, with all the people that we've served, I promise you, I have literally only had 2.5 keynotes. How I built a 7-figure business without an online funnel. That was my keynote. The stage dictates that sometimes you have to pivot. You have to be pivot-ish. It means that you have to be in a place of flexibility. I created a signature talk on the spot. I give this keynote. I want to tell you the keynote's 30 to 45 minutes, but I really don't know. I think I went into a space of just focus, and I really wasn't concerned about her. I wasn't concerned about time. I was only concerned about me doing and being my best. I was only concerned with me doing and being my best. I was only concerned with me doing and being my best. Only be concerned with doing and being your best. Only be concerned with doing and being your best. Don't be concerned about saying it correctly, politically correct. Don't be concerned about Be concerned with doing and being your best, and that was the focus. I gave this talk. The talk ended. I came down. There was a crazy applause. A few people stood up, and then what happened blew everybody away. I get down from the stage, and I am ready. My best friend's there to come and pick me up so that we can leave and go finish the rest of Illinois. And before I know it, there is a line. Almost the entire audience is at the bottom of the stage. They have lined up to come and take a picture with me, come and talk to me, one thing or the other. It's one of the most important lessons I've ever had as a speaker, because before then, I understood the power of the stage, but I actually didn't really understand the power of me taking center stage and owning it every single time, irregardless of what's happening on the other end. Every single time you open your mouth, you own the stage. Every single time. At home, with your friends, at work, when you are speaking, it is you owning the stage. It is you commanding the stage. Half of the sale and half of you creating movement with and for other people is you taking command of the stage. You want to be a speaker, but you can't take command when you're in front of other people. You want to be a speaker on stage, but you really are suffering when it comes to just having a conversation with your spouse. You want to take the stage, and you want to command respect, but you can't get a hold of your own children. Your children running all over the place, doing all types of things. The way you do one thing is the way you're doing all the things. Command the respect, demand the respect, demand the positioning. That is how you build your confidence. It's not by being loud and bold like me. It is not by being flashy, and it's surely not with all those catchy phrases that I hear these speakers speak, these quotable quotes that they just quote for 2 hours of them talking. No, it is 1,000% of you commanding your stage wherever you're standing in your life. Command the stage. Command your stage, aka own your value. Becoming a speaker and taking the stage is, for me, a must for every business in the world. It is not just the place for small speakers. It is not the place just for coaches. It is not the place for these others. It is the place for everybody, because taking the stage is so much bigger, because it allows you to connect deeper and faster and harder than ever before. It allows you to do more with less. It allows you to penetrate and get past the biases. It allows you to bypass imperfections. It is exactly how Steve Jobs moved the iPhone, by taking the stage. Now, this line that ensued was something out of a book. I quite didn't know how to handle it. I was very grateful for it, but it taught me something that I hadn't learned before. It taught me something that I needed to know. Like, it taught me something really important. I'm grateful for the lesson every single time I just think about it, because until then, I was just on stage. I didn't really command the stage. You understand what I'm saying? You understand the difference? If you understand what I'm saying, can you just put "go ahead, coach"? And if you haven't liked this, can you like it? Commanding the stage is everything. Now, outside of commanding the stage, that is me commanding someone else's stage. That is me being inside of someone else's space, right? I want to walk you through you being in your own space. I did talk to all of those people. I stood there for the next hour or 2 hours, and I hugged, high-fived, booty bumped. I spent time with the people then. It was great. We both learned a lesson that day, and my lesson that I taught them was far beyond anything that they knew they were going to get. No one left that day, and almost the majority of that audience stayed behind to talk to me. Now, fast forward, there's you being on stage and commanding the stage, and then there's you in your own event. After that day, I decided that I needed to take a different approach to being on stage. I needed to take a different approach to owning my own value. That is when I doubled down on creating events. Building an event is one of the smartest moves I have ever made in this entire picture. Because what it did is it allowed me to take the confidence that I didn't had and really double down at not just creating events, because I had created events before, but really owning my positioning in the events that were being created. Now, there are so many different types of events. There are so many types of events that you can produce and do. You can do right now. The reason why you want to produce an event of some capacity is because you get the opportunity to gather the people. It is so much easier to sell to many than it is to sell to one. And for the person who's like, well, Tiffany, I struggle in sales conversations, or it's just me, or it's me and 3 people and we're all doing fulfillment. We don't really have a salesperson. Putting an experience in front of the lack of your sales process allows you to move more units faster and stronger. Gather the people. Gather the people right now in the chat. Gather the people. Gather the people. Gather the people. Until you command your stage, you have not reached. That is correct. Whether you are giving a keynote or you are building your own event, you need a signature talk. I'm going to give you the mechanics right now very quickly of a signature talk, okay? So the average signature talk or keynote that you can give, the common time that you're going to be able to speak is 20 minutes. That's the most common across the world. It's 20 minutes. There is a beginning, a middle, and an end. In the beginning of your talk, you want to speak and teach from your story for roughly about 3 minutes, maybe 4. And then you want to break up the rest of your talk into 3 bullet points. And I want you to think of them as 3 independent lessons. In these 3 independent lessons, I want you to think of them as maybe 3.5 minutes, so a piece. Maybe 4. Okay? So right now, if we were to make them 4 minutes, 3 times 4 is 12 minutes. We spoke in the beginning for 3.5, 4 minutes. Okay? So now we add 12 and 4 is 16, and guess what's left? Number 4, the end of this thing. So it's your close, or I should say number 5. It's your close. It is where you take the last 4 minutes and you say to the audience, to the person, I don't care where you're doing it. You say, hey, this is why what I'm saying is important. This is why you need to do it. This is what makes it such and such and such. I need you to consider that what you need is a balanced 20-minute keynote talk. The number one reason why I see speakers who are great speakers, they are here in this place and they're too much on the beginning of their story, too much. They don't do the end. They end it with, well, if you need anything, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. You mess around and do that. Whew, you've missed out on a huge opportunity. We can't do too much with that. No podamos. Not at all. So it's important that you have 3 to 4 minutes at the end to be rooted inside of a close, where you say to the person, hey, this is exactly what I want you to do next. This is exactly what I want you to do next and how I want you to do it. You want to give a call to action. The title of your signature talk should be something that gives direction. So what I don't like, I'm going to tell you the titles that I really abhor. Purpose to pain. Yes, it's a title. Or pain to purpose. Sorry. You know what? It could be purpose to pain too. You could, yes, listen. It could be purpose to pain depending on what you're teaching. But you need a title of your talk that allows the audience to have direction around what's going to happen when they're in the room. So for me, my signature talk has evolved. The Power of Story, how I built a 7-figure business without an online funnel. Period. Very simple. very effective. How to, those are great. Those are great titles to keep. Those are great titles to stay inside of. Those are great titles to run with. I want you to try and come up with a title here. I want you to take a moment and think of a signature talk that you might want to give. Because that same signature talk is exactly how we then go and build events. Let me give you the rundown of a couple of events that are hiding right inside of your back pocket that you could produce today with no one's help, or you could produce with someone's help. Either way, it doesn't change the fact that me taking to the stage and then me producing events, small and then large, is how we built this entire thing that we call DTDT. It allows us to connect deeper, harder, and create a foundation and then build community. You can do a webinar, masterclass, workshop. You can do a 1-day event, a 3-day event. You can do a retreat. You can do a lunch and learn. You can do a breakfast and learn. You can do a happy hour. You can do an after hours. We have an event called Tequila with Tiffany that we used to do. And every so often, I'm like, I think I have to bring it back. Tequila with Tiffany, absolutely phenomenal. It used to happen on Sunday nights. And I might do it for the people who are inside of our nation. I might just do it once a month. I'm almost tempted. Listen, Tequila with Tiffany is amazing. But it's an event. Sunday nights, it's where I sat with people virtually around the world and we drank together. Very simple. And I taught and I shared. I want you to reconsider what's possible, and I want you to consider the possibility of you and taking the stage and speaking and being more. Right now, you need nothing more. You need nothing more than you gathering people. The very first step in producing an event, the very first step is having an audience to speak to and to connect with. To speak to and to connect with. You do that by building a signature talk. One of the easiest ways to fill your own room is to give your signature talk a couple of times before you have an event. So that way you are able to fill the room and you predispose people to what they can anticipate in spending a longer period of time with you. We have a signature event that we'll be producing this year called The Stage. And regardless of whether you watch this on replay, if you head to DTDT Nation, soon you'll be able to see that we have an event called The Stage. And if you say, Tiffany, I would like to come to 3.5 days of me diving deep and learning and mastering speaking, and possibly getting on the stage, and then more importantly for me, building your own event, please let me know. Send us a note. What I know to be true is that this really crazy thing called The Stage is actually the easier way for a non-salesperson to move their products and services. 2 events a year, it's so possible. I want to take the time and I'm going to show you some math. Let me see if I can do this really quickly. Bear with me, because I was not prepared for this, but I want to see if I can show you some math around an event. There's only 8 hours in the day, right? So there's only 8 hours in the day. And because there's only 8 hours in the day, let me make sure that we can see. Because there's only 8 hours in the day, I want you to consider that if you were to if you talk to 100 people, and you talk to them for 1 hour each, this is to move your products and services. Stay with me, okay? And you spend 100 hours talking. You really only have 6 hours a day to complete this. So am I right? Am I right in this math? It's going to take me 60 weeks. Hold on. I need to get a calculator. You see people mess around I'm trying to add the one. We're not going to do this in my head. I'm not even going to try it. I'm not even going to try it with you people. You're crazy. Let's see if I can do this math. Okay. So 100 hours, we can only handle 6 hours a day, right? Because we're sleeping for 8 hours. We got to do our business. We got to do all the other things. I can't figure it out. So here we go. So that means we only have 8 hours in the working day. So let's say we take 6 of those hours and you know what? Because that's not true. We're going to take 4 of these hours. We're going to take 4 of these hours, but if we talk to 100 people to get to 100K, right? Let's say it's going to take us 100 phone calls for this year to get to 100K. Stay with me on this math. I'm going to show you something really, really crazy. 4 hours a day, and I'm able to talk to people Monday through Friday. 4 hours a day times 5 is 20 hours. Okay, great. So I can get through 20 calls, right? But the truth is that I need to get to 5. So that means I'm going to spend 5 weeks getting to my 100. That was an arrow. It was an arrow, but I got this. Believe in me. There we go. That's an arrow. Okay. I see it as an arrow. It's not a sexy arrow, but it'll have to do. All right. So in this, that means I'm going to do 5 weeks full time for the year. I am spending my time on the phone, talking to people. Okay, some close, some don't close. I need to think about it. I need to go talk to my wife or husband. I need to go and talk to grandma. I really have to ask the post mailman. I need to go to church and pray about it. We need to have an altar call so I can figure out this is the right thing. Let me in tune and let me feel what God is saying to me, and then I'm going to get back to you with an answer. I've heard all of it before. Okay, so now this 100 hours turns into 200 to 300 hours. Because the person needs you to talk to them again. If you know what I'm talking about, can you put sales calls in the chat? Because then I need to, half of these people say, oh, give me some time. You follow up, you're followed up again. You're now you are in, this is not 100 hours, people. This multiplies. This is 200 hours of your time on these damn phone calls. That is now 10 weeks. This is now 10 weeks. To make this money, and more importantly, you're on the phones and you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, the calls are coming together, you take a break, you feel sick that day, you can't finish the calls. Okay, so the only thing that I know is that in order for us to really accomplish X amount of dollars, we have 2 things that we're at right now. We're at 100, whoa, that's a lie. We are at 200 hours. 200 hours and not only are we at 200 hours, but we are at 200 hours and we've given up 10 weeks, or we are locked down. We can't do anything for the 10 weeks. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. Following up, such, follow up 500 times. I'm going to follow up 67 times. I'm going to follow up with you until the wheels fall off. Following up. I'm going to call you. So, the truth is that if you focused, so let's say in these 200 hours, 200 calls, 20% of them say yes, that's 20. Your products and services are, let's call it $1,000. You have made $40,000 for the year. Everybody with me on this math? Can you put, I'm watching coach, got it coach, see it coach? Because this is really the most important piece of the puzzle. You did it, you made money. You made $3,000 to $4,000 for the year. Or you made $3,000 to $4,000 additional dollars for the year. And I'm here for it, and it's good. And you can live a great life starting in this space. I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking this additional dollars, okay? And obviously you would say, but Tiffany, my product and service is $2,000. Okay, great. All right, Betty, I hear you. Dang. All right, we're going to put in 8 there. It's $80,000. I am very excited and happy about someone killing $80,000 in a year. I am thrilled. Mama is so happy about this. But let me show you how this looks in an event. So let's say it takes me 1 month. I planned the event. The second month, I promote the event. Promote, plan, and month 3 is execute. My MME strategy. Okay? I execute event. That's 3 months. Now, let me put this 80 over here. Okay, if you're still with me, can you just put the word I'm here? I want to make sure you're still with me. I want to make sure that you are still with me. Okay. I want to make sure you're still with me. Let me take a moment. Because this is a great year. I'm not knocking it. This is a money year. This is a great year, and I'm happy for you. But let me tell you what I'm even happier about for the same person. They execute the event. They have 100 people. So we had 100 calls. We have 100 people show up for a 3-day event. They're able to sell a 5K plus package, offer product promotion, multiply, let's say their average, we're going to multiply that by the 20%, which is 20. Now I'm multiplying 5K times 20 people who say yes. How much money have I made? Family, how much money have I made? How much money have I made? 5K times 20 people who say yes. They work with me for the year. How much money have I made? Survey says I have made 100K. And even if it cost you 20K to produce this event, you are leaving with 80K. But this is 80K in 3 months versus 80K for the year. You have 2 events for the year, and guess what you have? Honey bunches, apple pie, sugar plum. You have 10 events. You know, listen. You have 2 events for the year, and you know what you have? 160K. You focus your year like this, and you've made $160,000 in the same amount of time it costs you to make 80. This is my favorite business model. It is exactly what the Boss Collective, our signature program, is built on. It is the community that it's built on, because if you can get this, you don't have to be the best salesperson. You don't have to be the best executioner. You don't have to be the most strategic person. You don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to execute this twice a year. Now, understand, this is a 3-month strategy. You could technically run this model 4 times for the year. You could. And even if you cut these numbers in half, you're still, if I cut the numbers in half and I'm half as good as amazing, if I'm half as good as amazing, then I could run it 4 times for the year, 4 times 160K. 2 times 160K is 320. I think it's 320. This is $500,000. This is $500,000 effortlessly. And if you're half as good, if you don't do it that well, if you're just partially okay, and you still only come out at 200K, you running your own event is the easy way to you building your business, keeping customers consistently, and building a community underneath it. If you literally, I'm telling you, if you just adhere to what I'm saying, that you can run your own math. Whether it's a webinar or a live class, it doesn't change the fact that every quarter you could make $80,000. I know because we do it. We have now as a company produced probably well over 200 of our own events, maybe more than that if I consider some of the smaller things we do. But whether it's a huge big stage or us producing a masterclass, and if it's not that, it's a retreat, and if it's not that, it's a webinar, if it's not that, it's something awesome like night school that's 7 days, this is the easier way for you to build community, for you to build consistency, and for you to not feel like you're constantly having to. It is what the Boss Collective is built on. First, you build your brand, then you build your offers, then you build your sales, your systems, your squad, and then once you strengthen that, we move into a cycle of producing an event. It makes your efforts of what you do on social media so much easier. It makes you building your list so much easier. And the longevity of time for you in front of your audience gives you the confidence that you are putting yourself in the driver's seat, but then more importantly, you're building something that will last. And then people look forward to coming to your event. You don't have to have 4 a year. We have 2 large events for the year. We do a ton of other types of marketing and sales, but the truth is that if we left all of that alone and we just went to doing events, we'd still be in a pretty good place. We'd have a ton of fun, lots of love and laughter will be shared, and we would keep our community intact. This is the money. This is the easier button. I'm not telling you it's the easy button. It is the easier button. It'll put you in the driver's seat. If you have been trying to figure out how to piece this whole together, the thing that you are missing, the item that is not inside of your strategy, is you gathering people in one shape, form, or figure. In one shape, form, or figure. You gathering people and getting stronger as you do it. So, you tell your story first. Okay, let me make sure this makes sense, because we're about to move in to our workshop for the rest of the day. You are welcome to join us for $1. You can join us inside of this private room. You can drive us inside of this. You can connect with us inside of a private room, or you can stay with us. You can come and head into VIP. Either way, if you missed the other days and you're like, I need the training, either way, you talk, you gather people, you talk to them some more in the form of nurturing, and then you gather an event. If you want, like, this is it. I'm telling you the formula. This is DTDT. If you want our worksheets and you want help on deciding names and you need our formula and you need the pieces that go into each and every one of these, then you should be joining us in the collective. It is a place this year and all of the years, but specifically this one, because I'm going to be a part of the collective, not just sharing, but making sure that you don't miss a step, that you do all of the steps. It's just 4. But there are worksheets, there's training on what's the best way to gather them here, there's copies of templates on how we nurture, what we use to nurture, and then more importantly, there's the type of event that's best for your lifestyle. Just depends on what's best for your lifestyle. Everything's literally about your lifestyle and how you feel comfortable. Okay, so I've given you the formula. It's right here. I've given you the math. I've made it easy for you to ask yourself some questions like, where do I need to be? And what's the method? I don't care what business, I'm telling you, from chimneys to copy machines, to bartending, hair, nails. An event can be done on everything. And I believe now more than ever, this is like the season of events and people coming together. For sure. If you can do an in-person event, great. But there's nothing wrong with doing a virtual event like this. They're still super effective. And you don't have to race to a close. You don't have to become salesy. You don't have to have this big, crazy, uncomfortable pitch. What you do need to do is you need to have a place in which you feel comfortable, where every single year you can rinse and repeat your process and get stronger and better, so you don't have to mentally think about doing something new. Nothing is more frustrating than me in business and constantly having to think of something new. I'm giving this to you because I know that if you're half as good and you're like, you know what, I do 100K every quarter times 4 quarters, you have a 400K a year business. And if you're like, Tiffany, I'm half as good as that, that's okay in that map, great. Divided by 2, that's 200K. You know what kind of a life you could live with 200K? You know what you could do with that? Tiffany, I'm half as good. Okay, all right, I hear you, sure. No problem, divide that by 2 again. Tiffany, I suck. Listen, let me just tell you, I suck. This is horrible, but I'm really bad at all the things. Okay, fine, whatever. You're still at 100K. It's still the easier button. You know what I'm saying? You got me? This year, I'm gonna tell you the way not even like how hard life is, but like this is the season to gather people and to get together, to connect, to teach, to build an event. And if you're like, I don't even know where to start, and if you're like, I'm not really sure, then you need to be with us in the collective. Period. This is gonna be my statement now and my statement forever. Come hang out with us, because this is what we do. We don't just teach it. Like some of my peers, they just teach their methods, but the boss method of dominating and positioning yourself in the market, we still live it. We still produce ourselves for ourselves. Even though we produce events for clients now inside of our studio, or we go on site with them and we produce events for clients, it doesn't change the fact that every year we're still producing at least 10 of our own events. We live it. So as we get better and stronger and we learn new things that you can do faster, and man, it's literally a no-brainer, because our data is current and our want is current. The collective is 100% where you want and need to be if you're like, I need an easier way to do this. And if you're like, Tiffany, I have no idea how to get to the collective, or if you're like, got it, I'm listening to this late, you're watching this on the replay, it doesn't matter, I don't care how you got here. If you're like, I am sick and tired of constantly doing this, and this is regardless of whether you're right now at 20,000, 200,000, or if your company's at 2 million. I'm telling you, by positioning yourself slightly different in the market and adding this element of gathering of people, not the word event, just the gather of people, it'll transform the way your team works, it'll transform your quarterly focus, and it'll make it so much easier for you to move your products and services, all of them. If you're like, Tiffany, where do I start? I want you to send me a text, myself, 305 677 8178. 305 677 8178. What I know to be true is that something delicious is waiting right around the corner for you. But it's inside of this next step that you're going to take, whatever it might be. And more importantly, it's by literally asking yourself to tap into the easier button. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Day 4. Day 4. So for those of you who are joining me for the rest of the day so that you can build out and workshop this, man, oh man, I cannot wait to see you. There is a link somewhere here for you to take advantage either of this event or the next event that's right around the corner. For the person who says, man, I really don't know where to start, please send me the text at 305 677 8178 so that I can talk to you. It's totally going to be me. Third, I want you to ask yourself, man, I'm looking at the rest of this year. Where can I put an event? Wherever that is, it's somewhere in between 2 to 3 months out from whatever today's date is. The very first step is choosing a date. That statement made no sense. The very first step is choosing a date, not a date. Choosing a date. Choose a date. Just pick one. Go like this. And that one. Choose a date. And whether it's a 1 day, 3 day, 4 day, or you're going to do something big like what we do. We do night school. Night school is 7 days. I want you to know that an event is a fun, awesome, really exciting next way for you to wrap up how you're going to sell your products and services, and then also mastering speaking at the same time. If you are interested in taking a speaking workshop or event workshop with me or Matt or our team, and if we have one that is coming now, or you're watching this on replay and it's right around the corner, I also want you to send me a text to 305-677-8178 where you say, Tiffany, I need your help. I want to learn to speak. I need to dominate the stage. That is my next goal. We're going to tackle speaking and dominating and mastering the stage. And we're also going to tackle you building some form of your own event at the exact same time. November this year is our large event right here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we would love to welcome you for 3.5 days where we teach all of the things and show you all of the pieces to doing the whole damn thing at once. All right, with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I will see some of you in just a bit, and for others, I say I cannot wait to see what you accomplish. Please don't hesitate to let me know. Please comment on this video. Please like it and share it and love it. And guess what? Mama loves you.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put it down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now. I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna f*** with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you